This is Ilios, MVP Infinity versus MVS. I think the problem with this match was more or less that MVS couldn't figure out what the comp they were supposed to run was. The thing is, when you go to Korea and you scrim, you usually don't scrim the people in your groups until the group stages are over. And then, so they probably had never played MVP Infinity at all coming into this series and had no idea what to expect. I mean, you have an idea of what to expect, but you don't know how it feels. So
I have a broken toe right now, so I can't. My basketball days are over. That's why I retired.
I guess I'll pause for a second just to talk about comps, because I feel like the biggest problem here was that MVS kind of got out. I don't want to say outplayed, but they don't play the comps that I think that they need to in this situation. Like, they ran dive comp, like a pretty standard dive comp with a Reinhardt. You could argue that this Reinhardt's not really that useful, but I think it's just good because it creates, especially on this map, because it creates like a safe space. There's always a safe space where you can like make a narrow choke with the shield. Like there's like next to this pillar, there's like that ramp, like if you're on the other side, that's like right here. There's always a good spot to put a Reinhardt shield, I guess, to like create a barrier. I think Reinhardt's always good on this map. Tracer Genji on this specific point, I think is also really good. Like a lot of verticality and a lot of like health. You can get this health back. You can like abuse health packs as Tracer. There's so many health packs on this map. Zarya is pretty standard, I would say. Just for combos and keeping the Genji alive and negating Ana nukes. And then they ran Ana Lucio. I'm surprised they went with this. I guess it's fine. I think the Lucio did a lot of healing throughout this series. I mean, obviously, but Lucio's healing is really effective with heroes like Genji Tracer because they have ways to block damage or like just rewind and whatever. And then MVS ran the exact same stuff that they run all the time, but I feel like the Tracer Genji just kind of overwhelms them. Like, it's very hard to deal with Tracer and Genji if you're Harry Hook, but that's kind of his job right now. That was a huge reflect, actually. I think this Easy Bro Genji was actually pretty sick. Good block from Coco there to not let them cap. They win the spam war here, I think. I think everyone's just trying to get the feel right now because it's map 1. Plays around the health pack really well. They get the cap. Nobody died though. But I think Taimu hasn't really felt too useful right now because he's playing against Tracer Genji and he has to hit like god hooks against these heroes. I mean, both of these heroes have obviously played against it before. That's unfortunate. What? Oh, FTD, thanks for the 3 months. But yeah, like, that pulse bomb, pretty unfortunate. I think One Fact sells himself short there. You watch that at the beginning and you're like, oh, this guy's not that good, or that was clowny, but he winds up actually being really, really good, I think. So now they're going to run Nano Genji, which is pretty incredible, I would say. I mean, FaZe does it. Good sound barrier from Harry Hook to try and negate the damage, but it's not enough. He gets 2 swipes on Harry, and then this fight's pretty much over, because I think he was more or less all of their damage. Like, the only counter they had to the Genji Tracer was the 76. Like, Taimu even hits a really good hook there, but it's not enough damage because he's still minimally boosted. Mickey and Coco are doing a really good job of surviving right now. It's one of the things that I think makes the tank combo so strong too on these Koth maps, is that if you control the point, it's very hard to retake. Like, even though that Dragon Blade opened up so much space, they weren't able to really get the capture point at all. Taimu switches to McCree. I think this is the correct response. Like, he's up against Tracer Genji. Obviously, it's still really hard because if he misses a flashbang, he pretty much dies to anybody else. And see, he dies there to the Ana. Ana shoots him a few times, and then they win the fight off that, I think. I'm assuming they're going to win this fight. I watched this, but I was like actually falling asleep. I think One Fact starts like turning up on this Tracer eventually.
Yeah, MVP Infinity just kind of brawling their way to capture there. Getting up that control meter, now they're getting a little bit of control percentage.
So like they play around the Nano Genji now, and it's really hard to deal with. Like it's super difficult because Chips has to work overtime, Taimu has to work overtime, like Harry Hook's working overtime. There's the flashbang coming into like a factor there. But look at this One Fact guy. He kills Ana's, man. He's an Ana killer. I think Chips misplays this. Yeah, he misplays this. He like doesn't throw the ground and then it doesn't heal him. Not that it mattered, they were still gonna lose that fight. But the strength of the Tracer on this map is just distracting the Ana. Like, the Ana heals are everything against tank comps, and if you're just making the Ana not even look at it, like, you don't have to kill the Ana, you just have to, like, distract the Ana long enough, and then you'll win the fight. Yeah, the camera stays on them pretty long. I like this play from Why Not. He's just kind of creeping. He jumps the gun here. I remember watching this, but he jumps the gun here. He thinks that people are behind the shield, but they're not, so now he, like, gets forced into this really awkward spot. But good pulse bomb combo. It didn't look that good, but it was because the sound barrier mitigated most of the damage, as Doe points out. And clean fight. I swear to God, man, every single baby diva winds up getting sleep darted. I'm convinced nobody's ever not been sleep darted as a baby diva. Like, I don't know how it happens, but it's always baby divas. They're always slept. Taimo is high noon. Chips has ult. This is Envious's fight to lose. There's no ults on MVP Infinity. This is a very early Nano Visor. Good Earthshatter from Coco. I mean, Coco very rarely misses them, but the Nano Attack Visor does a lot of work here, and Harry just cleans up, and they still get the cap. Imagine a world where they... I feel like MVP Infinity got kind of lost there. Like, they didn't realize what was going on, because I don't even know where this Ana is. Like, I think this Ana's... Yeah, that's still the Ana stuck there, so that's really awkward. I mean, obviously I didn't want to die, but it was like 91% capped or something. I hate this UI, man. I want to like go to Blizzard and change all the colors on this HUD. So hard to read. It's like a HD YouTube VOD and I still can't read it. Tracer switch, or Taimo switches to Tracer at the end there, but I think it's mostly to get back to the point fast as opposed to like anything. Yeah, Infinity was really good. They had very good ult management, but I feel like they like underused sometimes. Like they were trying really hard to get like 2 ult combos off, but they weren't, like they were afraid to use that third, and it kind of hurt them, I think, later in the series. I think their Lucio also had like some really weird ults on King's Row that wound up like hurting them. I think Envious doesn't actually have the best ult management in the series when I was watching them, but they make individual plays that's really good. Or that are really good. Same comp. I think that they felt like it was working. I mean, it was working.
They look pretty similar.
But this is where I think Taimo gets a little bit out-traced. Like, he goes for this 1v1 at the start, which I like. It's actually really good to do stuff like this because it helps you, like, get a feel for what you're up against. Like, if you're Taimo, this is the first time you've played Tracer versus this Tracer, so you have to see how good his aim is versus you before you decide whether or not you want to start taking engagements with him. So, like, Taimo gets actually slammed by this guy. Like, One Fact wins that 1v1 super hard, so Taimu's just like, I'm ignoring him. Because Taimo can't afford to take the 1v1 and lose. So instead of trying to counter the Tracer, he goes for like these crazy plays. And you don't see Taimo in the kill feed, but he's doing a lot of the work in the back right now. But this One Fact guy is like making a lot of space. Like, Taimo escapes again, Taimo escapes again. Taimo just keeps escaping. So like this whole fight, you're watching One Fact's position, and you think that they're winning because of how good One Fact's doing. But Taimo just never dies. Like, Taimu's still alive somewhere. He kills the Ana, and then suddenly this fight's completely different.
Taimu's been so evasive on this Tracer. Finally gets it with that Earthshatter, though. Yeah, I think.
And there, Taimo kills Easy Bro. One Fact's out of the fight, and the Ana's dead. Like, he's lived on like 10 HP like 3 times this fight. I was blinking the pit there. That would have been really funny.
Yeah, he's been doing wonderfully. So I mean, he's gone low so many times, but he's always able to make it out to safety, get those heals coming through from Internet Hulk, from Chips.
Nobody capped yet, which is important to note. Because MVP Infinity already wasted like a whole plethora of ults to try to take the point the first time. Like, this Dragon Blade comes out, I think Harry Hook like boops him, or not Harry, I think Internet Hulk boops him or something, and he gets completely thrown off with his dash. Nobody's capped yet though, it's been like literally 2 minutes. Taimo on that crazy death. I don't know. No deaths right there from Taimo, and now points very much in Envy's favor. Taimo going for the wraparound. He needs to pulse bomb anything at this point, as long as it's not a Zarya bubble. But I think he doesn't like wait for the bubble there. I mean, Mickey makes the play there, don't get me wrong. But I think Taimu jumped the gun a little bit. I mean, it would have been nice though if he had hit something, but he goes for the Zarya, which I think didn't work out for him. Taimu's aim is insane though on this Tracer actually, which is impressive because I don't see him play Tracer a lot.
I don't think he has. If he has, I didn't see it. I don't think he has either. He's got that pulse bomb ready to go.
I think Chips did a really good job though of keeping one fact down. Like I don't feel like Chips died as much as he probably could have. This next fight though is definitely MVP Infinity favor. They have Graviton Pulse Bomb combo. It's just a matter of when it comes out. I don't know why he goes for that. Like he could have just waited for the grav. Harry Hook gets countercharged. Here comes the Chips to Gym factor. Crouch spamming, crouch spamming. Like Chips is actually winning this 1v1 and like that's a huge thing. That's like a huge deal actually when your Ana doesn't need help to fight off Tracers. So it's a little thing that makes a big difference. Like he gets the kill there. Chips is actually going nuts right now. But I think this is where everything starts crashing down. I don't know. Zarya's got grab. They just need to make this work. It's kind of funny watching Zarya's try to like force ults out. He gets a solo ult onto what's his name? Onto Harry. But I want to say the Lucio boops. Oh, the Lucio clean that up. Oh, the Graviton kills Harry, and then somehow like Chips is in this corner. I think Envious got a little flustered there because they weren't expecting that Graviton to come out. So they like tried to push in front of the Zarya instead of behind it, and then like their team got split. So then Harry gets killed. Then Chips is trying to dodge the Graviton, so he gets pushed up. I don't know, that was a real spacing thing, but it was a good Graviton. I mean, it wasn't the greatest Graviton, but it wound up splitting up Envious to the point where they couldn't really take that fight.
Why not using the Graviton Surge? Only found Harry Hook, which while a crucial pick, you want to be able to get multiple.
And then Easy Bro goes on this 3 to counter Taimu's Tracer after Taimu. No, they don't have. I think McCree's good on this map though. I mean, 76 is fine too. Huge roll there. This guy's really good. He dodged that Earth Shatter, and like he definitely meant to dodge that Earth Shatter. I don't like that they nano boosted Taimu here. This might have been a throw or an accident. I think they went too all in. Like I think that they were feeling too cocky at this point. Because I don't know why you would ever take the chance of nano boosting Taimu. Especially into the McCree when you're gonna have attack visor pretty soon. I think this is where it really this is where the map fell apart, was that decision right there to nano boost him. I mean, Taimu's doing well, but he's not really winning this Tracer 1v1 anyway. And if you're not hitting all of your shots with Tracer, it's not that valuable to nano boost the Tracer. And even then, like, he still gets bursted. Like, it's only 300 HP you have to work through. So, like, you don't want to do stuff like this. Like, Taimu's super afraid to push in right now because he knows he's going to get shredded, so he doesn't know what to do. But that pulse bomb was really bad. And now he's, like, feeling the woes of playing Tracer against an Ana where literally nothing dies. But if they had nano boosted Harry right now for this next fight, I think that the game might be a little bit different. Or if they hadn't taken that fight at all and just had nano boosted attack visor for that fight, it might have gone differently. Because now it's really hard to come back because they wasted that nano boost. Like Chips didn't get anything close to another one, and the time's running out. So as long as the Zarya gets the Graviton off, which he doesn't. That guy just one taps. Sound barrier didn't hit Taimu, which is pretty unfortunate. Winds up getting him killed. I don't know, MVS didn't look too clean here, but I think this is just like them not practicing for a while. I think the decision to nano boost Taimu like spiraled into this. They actually almost clutched by killing that Zarya, but that sound barrier didn't get Taimu. They were too split up, so the game is hard. Now we go to map 3. But this team's looking good. Dive comp's not easy to play against. Like, it sounds basic, but a little rough.
Looking really strong so far.
Yeah, I gotta say, MVP Infinity, you know, when they get control of a point, their coordination is clearly very good. They made a brilliant change in switching one fact over to McCree. Or was that easier? I'm sorry, I've already forgotten. But
stick with the same comp. Envious still not sure what to do. I think Envious starts getting a little overwhelmed. They're like, what do I do against this Tracer Genji? I like Taimu on the Hog, but I think Harry should be the one to go McCree here. Like, I don't know if they can do that, is the thing. I don't know how good Harry's McCree is. Like, I'm sure it's fine, but it's top tier or not, or like as good as Taimu. I think they lose a little bit of effectiveness. Somehow Coco dies here, and I think that this fight's over. I don't know how Coco died there. I just got nuked or charged or hooked. But rare mistake from Coco to die there, and I think that that really sets them off on a bad foot. This map's incredibly hard to push when you don't have the point, because there's so little choke points and like you just get bopped and shit. But they need an answer for this Tracer, because Tracer's just going to disrupt forever. They're just spamming, like they do so much composite damage. Like you have the Tracer just spamming bullets, and then Genji comes in for the cleanup, and they do it really, really well. Like if you hit a single fire strike as this Reinhardt, suddenly there's a Tracer cleaning you up and a Genji dashing in to clean you up, and then Genji gets the reset, game is hard. I don't know, they played this really well, I think, their comp. So Mickey switches off the Diva, goes to Zarya, which I think is fine, but it's really late now because it's already 30%. So they're kind of banking on eventually getting a good combo, and this is where I think the snowball factor of Koth comes into play, because like Mickey has to play super well right now to get this Graviton up at all. Like it's going to be 50% on the point by the time he respawns, only at 30. I think Taimu's trying way too hard to live here for no reason, just delaying the time. Or they don't look refreshed here. They don't look like they're in season, I guess. Like I'm surprised they didn't opt for like the Zarya at the beginning. I think Diva against dive comp is super, super hard to execute. Because Envy's still really far behind in ults. Like they can nano boost Harry Hook here, but there's still a Reinhardt shield to get through. There's an Earthshatter to get through. There's positioning. Like he gets nothing with this. The Reinhardt just blocks all of it and then Earthshatters him. Really good Earthshatter. I mean, it stops all the damage from Harry Hook and he's all of their damage. And you see like Taimu's feeling really desperate here because Mickey's nowhere near ult and the point's about to be capped. They might have been able to have snuck in one more fight if Taimu didn't die so late the first two fights, but I don't know. The switch, when Mickey switches at 30% and they don't have anything, I don't know if it's worth it. Like Mickey's only at 50% ult right now. He didn't even get like 2/3 of a Graviton before this game was over. So I think that this map just wound up snowballing when that first fight went so poorly. Losing Coco first is a really big deal. Harry and Taimu do a really good job here to like clean up, but this Diva gets her suit back. And that happens. If Taimu gets that kill, they cap for sure. But since he doesn't, this Diva winds up capping. Like it really came down to that, and I mean it's a mistake, but it's not. It's hard to outplay that. Like if I were Taimu, I wouldn't have expected to die there. But if Taimu doesn't die to that, like they get the cap, and then maybe the game is different. I don't know. Like Mickey might have gotten Graviton then. Like there's a lot of things that could have possibly happened after that. But Taimu dying to that Diva bomb is quite sad. But that was Ilios.